Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, visiting East Coast Honda, and I'm checking out a 2024 Honda Prologue two-wheel drive in the Touring trim level. This vehicle sitting on 255/60 Bridgestone tires wrapped around 19-inch alloy wheels with a gloss silver finish with black inserts. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all four wheels. It also uses Regen braking, regenerative braking for the EV system. The name of this color is Snowfall Pearl. And it's one of those Pearl coats that's more impressive than the average Pearl coat. You know, some vehicles that technically have a Pearl coat, but they're just not as nice. But this one is just really nice looking, especially when the light shines on it. And then when you take into account the gloss black accents of the vehicle, it is impressive. So I've looked at pictures of this online on the Prologue, and it looks good, but when you're actually in person, it is much more impressive to me. Now, my camera might not be able to do this justice, but the size and the width of the vehicle is what really stood out. It is large, fairly large vehicle, and you appreciate that when you get inside because it's so roomy, it's so well done as far as the space inside, especially the width. And the width is actually emphasized here with this grille. So you can see the lights and the grille are all connected here. And you have this connection here, front and back. It's emphasizing this width, which I think, especially from a distance, you look at it, you're like, wow, this is a very unique looking vehicle. So you see that has the Honda emblem here, and it's like a concave type gloss black. I call it grille, but it's, you know, just the front of the vehicle basically. We do have some airflow down here. There's parking sensors. So you can see this is white, there's the gloss black, but you also have this little silver strip right here. Kind of goes unnoticed unless you look really close. There's matte black under here with the airflow. Radar adaptive cruise control sensor is also under here. Now the headlights are a multi-reflector. So the outer portions, this portion and this portion will be your low beams, and then the high beams will be the inner portion joining in, and all three are illuminated for the high beams. There's also a projector LED fog light as well. And it's interesting how you turn the lights on. I'll show you when we get inside the vehicle. It's a little bit different than what I've accustomed to. There's a little bit of airflow right here for the air curtain on the side of the vehicle. So you can see that gloss black extends here around the wheel wells. And they're not super huge wheels on this one, but it does have big tires, you know. So this would help out with the ride quality and everything. There is a little matte black portion right in here. It's a little protection right there for rocks and stuff from kicking up. A lot of wind today, so I apologize for that. So there is more gloss black here on the underside of the doors, and it extends here all the way to the back. Body colored handles, the gloss black upper portion of the side mirror, and then this part, the pillar here, is gloss black, which kind of solidifies the privacy glass there in the back. And if you tint the front glass, it'll really give it a sleek look. It's a pretty long wheelbase as well, and that another thing that adds to the ride quality. This is what the key looks like, and it's a full proximity key system. Has the Honda emblem on the other side. And it has the lock, unlock, remote start, and the ability to open up the power liftgate and a panic button here. There's also a physical key on the inside as well. So let's go ahead and hit the panic button. So it's kind of like when you first press it, it just gives a little short beep, like if you need to make a little beep to find the vehicle. Let's go ahead and press and hold it. So yeah, pretty loud horn, an aggressive horn, I like it. So it's the type of system that press this button to lock it, this little chrome button here, and then once it's locked, there's no sensor back here. You have to press the button again to alternate to unlock it. So it's one of those things where you have to lock it and then kind of pull the handle and make sure it's locked, because it doesn't give you any kind of like external noise or anything to let you know whether it's locked or unlocked, you know. There's also a physical key location behind this little cover. You can take that off, and then there's a little key location right back there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's back there. Now I mentioned that the doors go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle. There's actually a seal there as well to keep this threshold area a little bit cleaner than would otherwise be. So the inside of the vehicle, on the window sticker, it says the interior is gray. So we'll find a couple different colors here. So the inside of the door is, you can see there's a black, gloss black little trim there, as well as here. And then you have this, like this light color. It's kind of like a, it's not, I guess this could be, I guess, considered a light colored gray. But then you have the hard touch surfaces down here. This is like a vinyl soft material all the way here. And then this is kind of like a Nerf soft material. Not super soft, but it's softer than the other materials there. Now this handle has a little rubber pad in the bottom, and it's enclosed. So you can utilize it as a little pocket. And then the bottom, there's a larger pocket there. And there's the threshold, no fancy seal plates or anything. It does have a power seat. It's like a 6-way seat where you can go forward and back, but you can also go up and down and tilt. And then you can tilt the back here. So that's nice for a passenger seat. Leather trim seats, and this is where you actually get into some gray right here. And then of course that light material is accenting it, looking nice. These are heated seats, by the way. It has little creases there, seams. Very comfortable and roomy vehicle. That's the first thing that struck me getting in and driving it, is the roominess, you know, the amount of space you have, and the amount of just very comfortable seats, you know. So lots of room here in the legroom. Just wide open space, you know. There's no tapering or anything. Just little angles up for your feet, but yeah, it's really good. And you have this pocket here in the center that you can, both the passenger and the driver can share. Locking glove compartment. Now this is a hard touch surfaces here. Locking glove compartment with a smooth plastic on the inside. It's the user manual and stuff. And then there's some more gloss black with like a little metallic accent. More matte black here, kind of making that kind of hide away and blend in the little vents there. And there's more of that vinyl type material here. And this is like a rubbery, soft, non-reflective dash. So I can understand why these type of vehicles are very popular, because it's so easy to get in and out. The height of the seat off the ground is perfect for most people. The swing of the door is nice. The door is wide open space. Now the back door swings out good. I think it could swing out a little bit more, but as it is, it's not bad. You got a lot of space here. The opening is just, you know, very well. I mean, you have a little bit of space right there, a little tapering, but that's pretty much the way back doors usually are. Now the back door, this is where you'll see some hard touch surfaces on the top instead of the soft touch, but we still have that vinyl material here, hard touch here, and then there's a pocket here, a little rubber pad in the bottom, cup holder or storage compartment there at the bottom as well. Smaller threshold area, but the door does go all the way down to the bottom. And here's the back seats. Basically a bench seat in a way. It does have a little cutout section in the center, which is kind of interesting. And you have armrest with cup holders, very soft armrest. That can flip up. Now it does have the latch system or ISOFIX for car seats, and has these little covers that flip up, and so you don't have to remove them. They just stay there. You just hook up your car seat, which is very easy to get to, and then you can just flip it down. On the back of both front seats is a mat pocket. And check out that floorboard. It is completely flat. Lots of room back here. So yeah, pretty much all the passenger space is very impressive. There's 2 USB-C ports back here, a little storage compartment, and climate control vents. This little storage compartment is nice. It goes in there a little ways. So yeah. Take a look at the back of the vehicle. It has these gloss black roof rails here, a shark fin antenna that's body colored. The third brake light is at the top of the glass, and this little rear spoiler, which is kind of divided between black and white, transitions into the glass and has a little wiper right there, a little tiny wiper for just the center, I suppose. Now it does have LED taillights, pretty impressive, nice sharp crisp LED taillights back here. And it has Honda written across the back, kind of like a little bit of retro style there for Honda. It has Prologue Touring, has a little E on the right side here, kind of neat. The backup camera, it's a little bit offset. I was hoping that it would be in the middle, a little bit higher, something like that, but that's the way they put it. It's not bad, it still works fine, but it's one of the little things that I look for. Now the parking sensors back here as well as the front, and then you have the larger piece of like silver, a silver color here at the very bottom. So in the front was just a little tiny sliver. This is a large piece. And there's reflectors down here. Those are not lights. Okay, so you can of course use the key, or you can push the button under here to open up the power lift gate. I'm gonna lift that up. You can see it has the hard plastic here on the underside. And if you have all these seats occupied with passengers, this is the cargo space. And it's actually pretty good. It's very usable, very usable. There's the mats and everything for the vehicle. And you have a light here on the right side and on the left side. And it looks fairly bright, LED. Hadn't seen the vehicle at night, but it looks like it could potentially be fairly useful cargo lights, considering there's two of them and they look fairly bright even during the day. You can see it's kind of dished out there on the sides a little bit. There's a little place for a shade to attach. And then there is a 12-volt power supply here on the left side. I'm not sure if that is switched with the ignition or if it's a battery. Probably switched with the ignition. It doesn't really have any indicators here. There is some tie downs as well. All right, so this lifts up. Basically push it in like that and grab a hold of it. It's just sitting here though. There's absolutely no latch or anything like that. It lifts up and there's some underfloor storage. There is a tire inflator kit, and check out that huge tow hook right there. Reverse thread, by the way. And then there's some carpet under here. And then you have this plastic compartment here. So this would be good for like a charge cable or something, whatever you want to put in the vehicle. But yeah, let me move this up here a little bit because there is a little bit of extra space back there. But yeah, this load floor is pretty solid. I mean, it feels very solid. It's not like the flimsy cardboard ones like some other vehicles have, but it's just resting there. There's nothing securing it. Now you can fold these seats down. It's a 60-40 split to add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space by just folding one down. Or you can fold both down, and it has an incredible amount of room in here once you do that. Lowering the power lift gate, there's a button right here, and you just press it and it comes down. You can of course use the key as well. Make sure I pressed it all the way. There we go. Didn't push it hard enough apparently. See how it comes down kind of slow, latches. The charge port has a cover that locks with the vehicle. So when the vehicle's locked, it's also locked. When we unlock the vehicle, it'll also unlock the charge port door. All right, and you can see it has a seal right in here, and it kind of mates up with that inner portion of the door there. And it has the, of course, DC and AC charging here. So this is, the top one is what you use at home, and then when you go to like a fast charger, DC fast charger, take that out and you can you know, just plug it in here. And this apparently just drops down here on that gloss black. I wonder if there's a way maybe you can loop it over the charger or something like that when you're using it. But yeah, that's the way it goes. To start the vehicle up, technically, or turn it on basically, just press and hold the brake with the key inside the vehicle, and then just press this button right here. It'll start everything up. All right. So we got to buckle the seatbelt to shift. and it gives us immediately start giving us a warning here, and then we have a warning over here as well. But yeah, of course, since it's an EV, you don't have to, you know, you won't hear any engine running or anything like that. You just have it, it'll just say this ready right here, this ready to drive. And I'll show you some of the controls are a little bit non-traditional, so you know we're gonna go over everything just a few minutes. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. You can see the floor mat will snap in place. It's not in place yet. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, and large footrest. Lots of room, really wide space, just tons of room in here. You can see you can access that compartment there. Opening up the hood, you actually just pull this twice. 1, 2, and then you can just lift up on the hood. You know, there's no latch or anything like that. You just lift up and it holds itself up. There's insulation under the hood. And there's no compartments or storage or anything like that. It does have the battery that's easy to get to, 12-volt battery. And then you have the brake fluid there, and the coolant there. And basically the only thing you really need to focus on as an owner, typically, is just the washer fluid right here. That's really the only time you would lift the hood normally. But yeah, all the orange you see, those are high voltage wires. That's why there's different color wires there. It has a high voltage system and a low voltage system, so they separate those here. This one is the front wheel drive. There is an all-wheel drive option. So the front wheel drive gets total horsepower is 212 horsepower, and then you get on the torque you get 236, which with the EVs, you know, the amount of horsepower and torque it feels a little bit more aggressive because it has that instant torque, you know. Now it does have a maximum tow capacity of 1,500 pounds, and supposedly you can get 64 minutes of charge time added on the DC fast charger in 10 minutes is the charging rate. And also another good thing about the two-wheel drive as far as range, you get a city of 107, highway of 91 with a combined of 99 MPGe, which is basically they're giving you the equivalent in gas. So like a gas has a certain amount of energy contained in the gas when it's utilized by the vehicle. So you're taking that same amount of energy and converting it to how many miles you can drive using the same amount of energy just using electric. So yeah, it is actually equivalent to getting 99 miles per gallon using the same metric. But you're gonna pay a lot less money for the miles that you drive with the EV. Typically when you charge at home, definitely. The blind spot detection system and rear cross traffic alert indicator is here on the side mirror, just kind of integrated into that mirror, and it'll illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. So the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So right here next to the door lock controls is you have the presets for your seats, 2 of them, and then you have an exit mode here. And the power windows, so front 2 are 1 touch up and down. And there are little indicators there, little A indicators. And then the rear glass goes all the way down. So you just have to hold the button. Side mirrors are adjusted here. You just pick a side and adjust it with that little pad. So the driver's seat, basically the same seat adjustments here, powered, but it does have a 2-way lumbar adjustment as well. And these are heated seats, very comfortable and roomy. In addition to the legroom here, you actually have a lot of room from the console out to the door. It's pretty impressive how much room you get when you sit in here. All thanks to that width of the vehicle. To the left of the steering column, there's the electronic parking brake. The lane keep assist system, you can toggle that on or off, has a little indicator light. Auto hold function holds the brakes for you when you come to a complete stop. A dimmer switch for the interior gauges. And then it has a tilt and a telescoping steering column as well. Just lock in place here. Before I put the shade up to cover the windshield, I just want to show you, this windshield is huge. It's really big. And it's hard to tell, like in photos and stuff, how big this vehicle is. So the pillar here is a little wide at the bottom, but you can see it has a pretty good amount of space there to help out with blind spots there. But yeah, you can actually see down onto the hood. You can see right where the corners really are of the vehicle, so you can make out. You don't feel like you feel like you can see and there's nothing obstructing you. You know, like some vehicles have too much stuff and it just feels like the dash is just getting in the way of your visibility, but this one you can actually see pretty good. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall. To give you an idea of the potential legroom, I put the seat all the way back and all the way down. And man, is it a lot of room, left and right. Just lots of room here. All around, basically. I mean, it's just like I can take my arm and just kind of swing it between me and the door, and there's lots of extra room here. It's incredible. And then the actual legroom here in the front is excellent. I definitely have to pull the seat up quite a ways in order to drive the vehicle safely. So we'll go ahead and pull that up. So yeah, it's a good 4 or 5 inches or whatever. That way I can get a firm press on the brake and all that stuff. So yeah, if you're tall, then should have no problem driving this vehicle. Now the steering wheel is really nice. So it's thick here at the bottom. It has stitching on the inside. It's a leather wrap steering wheel, and that stitching doesn't protrude too much. You know, like some vehicles have this really bulky stitching that gets in the way and it's aggravating. This is nice and rounded right off. You can feel the stitching just a little bit, just a tiny little bit of texture there, but it's nice and rounded off nicely, so it's not, you know, too bothersome. Because some people don't like leather wrap steering wheels because the stitching sticks out so much. This one, I think anybody would love this. This feels really good. Really thick steering wheel. It's not super soft, but it's not like it's hard as a rock either. It's kind of in that, you know, more on the firm side though. But the thickness helps out with that because it's not really like digging into your hands, into your bones while you're driving. And check it out, look at this metallic accent here, and then you see it around here as well. And it's fairly simplified look of the steering wheel. It has the cruise control here on the left side, so you can turn it on, cancel, change the speed, set and resume. So you can pull it down to set, push up to resume. You can also adjust the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you using the gap adjust, is what it's called, the adaptive cruise radar adaptive cruise control. Now when you pull down on it, it just basically toggles through. It doesn't go up and down, it just goes down, and it just toggles through the different modes. I wish it went up and down so that way you can adjust it without having to go all the way through the whole cycle through the entire range there. But that's the way it's designed. Here on the right side is the shortcut for your radio, voice recognition. So the phone button right here, when you pull down on it, it will hang up, or if you're not in a call, it will pause the radio here. So you can, if you want to mute the radio, you can see the volume is turned off, pull it down again, and it turns the volume back on. So if you need to pause the radio, you can do that. Otherwise, it's answer and then hang up. So answer is up, down is to hang up. So this is handy to have a separate, you know, action for hanging up. I like that. Voice recognition, we already saw that. Now this right here is to make selections here on the screen. So you can go up and down and make different selections here, depending on what you're doing. And then this button right here is pretty cool because basically it toggles the way the screen looks. So we press that one time, brings up the map. We still have our digital speedometer and different information on it. Press it again, takes us to this view, and then press it again, it goes back to the original view. And I'll explain what's on the screen in a second. So here on the left side is the turn signal, but also has the windshield wiper control for the front and rear. And there's a button, there's a switch here on the back, right here. You can see that little switch there for this is the rear, this is the front, and then you can wash the front windshield wipers. Washers are here. So, and then you have the high and low beams as well. Now it does have automatic high beams, which you control in the screen over there. We'll get to that in a second. This is the shifter. We'll get to that in a second because on the back of the steering wheel, you see these buttons here. I don't know if you can see that. So on the right side, you have the volume for the radio, up and down. So it toggles up and down for the volume on the radio. On the left side, there's actually an up and down, but right above it is this little paddle that sticks up higher than the other two buttons. So there's an up and down toggle in which you can change through the radio station or, you know, tracks on your device or whatever you're happen to be playing. But right above it is a separate button, so while you're driving, if you want maximum regen braking, you can press and hold that button, and it slows the vehicle down while charging the vehicle. This is handy for if you're going down a steep grade or just going downhill, or if you just want to slow down more rapidly, you just press and pull that in. and that's really handy. I've driven other vehicles like that, and it does, once you get used to it, it's really kind of addicting, because you're just like, hey, I'm slowing down, I'm not using the friction brakes, and I'm able to recharge the battery all in one time. And even on level surfaces, it's pretty cool. Okay, so there is the shifter. And so basically, there's a lot of stuff going on around the steering wheel. Usually some of this stuff is separated. But there is a key thing which is separated, and that's the lights, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so this is the shifter here. So basically the park is here on the end. So that is a park. And if we want to put it in drive, it gives you clear instructions right here, visuals. I like that. Pull it in and pull down to go into drive, like so. And then pull it in and hold it for neutral. Pull it in and go up for reverse. When we put it in reverse, the backup camera will pop up here, and the parking sensors will now be active as well. And we can put it in park here. And the electronic parking brake, when you press it, it engages the rear wheels. You press it again to turn it off, basically. It just toggles. Okay, so finally to the screen here. So the screen on camera looks like it has a little bit of a glare, but it is absolutely sharp and clear to my eyes. So that's the way it is sometimes. But so right here showing you whatever your radio is doing, whatever gear you're in, and then right here is showing the actual odometer of the vehicle. Now, of course, we have the speedometer here in the middle, and then we have this little meter right here showing on the left side how much battery percentage we have. We also have the range here. So our battery percentage is kind of represented there, range is here, and then here on the right side, as you're driving, it'll show whether you're using the Regen braking, which is down this way, or as you're accelerating, it'll go up showing you how much energy you're using. So when you're slowing down using a Regen or whatever, or brisk braking, it'll come down here into the green area. And I like the way it's color-coded. It's just not just a bar. Here on the left side right here, there is I like the fact that it has a digital clock, outside temperature, and the date, Thursday. That's like, sometimes you just like, what day is it, right? And you just can look right there and it shows you what day it is and the date and what time, and outside temperature is a bonus, you know. But also you can change it, because there's the outside temperature here, so you can choose different information on the screen. So let's hit that little swap button that we saw right here, little swap button. All right, so now we still have the outside temperature there, and we don't have the date or anything. We do have a digital compass over here now, and you can see the digital speedometer and the little indicator there. You can see the green and the blue, where as you drive it'll go use energy or not, or regen energy. Status of the lane keep assist system, but the emphasis on this screen is the navigation map. So if you have a destination set, it's instead of like glancing over here constantly, and you really need to focus on, let's say you're in an area you're not familiar with and you really need to focus on the navigation, having it right in front of you is a game changer sometimes, you know. So I'm glad that that has that option. It's very quickly, you can switch to it and you can get back out of it when you don't want to have it in front of you all the time. All right, so the next one here, this is more emphasizing on the safety systems. So it has the lane keep assist, the adaptive cruise control here, and so yeah, you can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you, and it shows you there the gap adjust visually on the little adjustment here, but also there on that screen as well. And then you can toggle on or off the lane keep assist system. So that'll give you a visual there as far as the you know, as you're driving. If there's a vehicle in front of you, it'll let you know and stuff like that. So yeah, being able to toggle different screens is pretty cool. And you notice it doesn't have like a hood or anything over it to block the light. It just has a nice sharp brightness, and you know, you should be able to see it at all times, especially just the clarity and everything just makes it to where it's visible. You know, it doesn't have to be sunken in the dash with a big hood and all that stuff over it. It looks very nice and clean and everything. And check this out. This is actually a pretty good system. It's integrated with Google, you know, so you have the Hey Google type stuff. Cancel.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Cancel. All right, anyways. So yeah, that pops up and you can make selections and you can do all kinds of different things. A navigation map, whatever. It has a physical volume knob as well, which you can mute the radio there as well. So it has these buttons here on the side, And let's go hit the home button so you can see what that looks like. This is the little widgets button right here. This is the radio button, and you have your audio sources here. This is the navigation map, which you can do searches and stuff. This is your phone. Once you pair your phone, you have access to everything here. This button is to go into different controls. I'm going to go in a little bit more detail on that in a second. But you have little notifications here. This is a shortcut for the lights. So you hit that button and you can turn them off, have automatic parking lights, or headlights on. Headlights on, parking lights here, automatic or off. We're just leaving on automatic now. And then this is the one pedal drive settings. So you can turn it on or off. You can set the level, and then you can have off, normal, or high, and then you can have it whether it's shown on the home screen or not. And then it has a little tiny digital clock there. I wish it was a little bit bigger. All right, so let's go into these settings right here. So you can see it says more settings, but right here, power window lockout for the kids in the back seat. You can turn off the traction control in case you need to spin tires. There's the automatic high beams. The fog lights, you can toggle those on or off here. And then the park assist system you can activate there. If we hit this, now we can go into the doors and windows. We can go into more details on the lights. We have the fog lights, we have the automatic high beams, and we have all the settings for the headlights here. And then we have the park and drive here. So the traction control, blind spot, blind zone steering assist, and then the one pedal driving here. On this home screen, you'll see that the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are grayed out because once you pair your phone, then it'll give you access to it, and it'll be wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. You can check on the vehicle status here. There's the Google Assistant. There's the Play Store. Charging information is here. So this is where you can schedule it to charge when you want. This one right here, you can charge now or charge later, so you can schedule it if you want. You can also set the maximum charge percentage. So like if you want to charge to 80%, 90%, something like that. Typically, 85, 90% would be on the high side, really, for daily charging. Unless you're taking a trip, then it's no problem with getting in and charging it to 100%, as long as you just start driving right after, so you don't leave it sitting there overnight at 100%. That's the goal, is to keep the charge rate not just sitting there for long periods of time at 100%. So if you need to go on a long trip, no problem. Occasionally, charge it to 100%. Go ahead and drive. You can go into the settings here. And all these different settings you can go into. Go to the vehicle settings. Let's go ahead and this buckle to drive. Let's turn that off because basically it was just beeping at me constantly earlier. So we'll turn that off for now while we're looking at it. All right, let's go back here, go to the settings. Let's go to, all right, yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's pretty straightforward there. All right, ambient light. Now, I got it set to red and I have the brightness turned up, but I don't see any ambient light. So, I mean, it's of course utilized during the nighttime, but so usually you can see it somewhere. I'm trying to figure out where it actually is going to shine, and I hadn't been able to locate it, so maybe I'll get a chance to look at it at nighttime sometime. I see a little bit there on the edge there, but yeah, not sure where that's actually going to be located. Climate control information can show up here. Now you do have some buttons down here too, but you see it visually represented. You can make the adjustments, driver, passenger. You can sync them here as well. And so yeah, you can switch to heat and everything. You can set up a Wi-Fi hotspot. You go into the audio here, which we saw. There's the different audio sources, which we saw. And there's the shortcut to the controls, your phone, the map. You can go into podcast, Google News, and that has OnStar, Link, Honda Link, and OnStar basically. So that's you see it's OnStar up here. And I'm in guest mode, so you can set up different additional settings basically once you log in to the Google system. Basically, I don't have it set up as a user. I have it set up in like a guest mode. Okay, so there's the physical temperature knobs here for the driver and passenger, which I just synced them, so they should be the same when I adjust this side. If you want to unsync them, you simply just turn this knob, it'll unsync them. So I turn that up or down, and then it's disconnected from that now. All right, heated seats, a 3-stage, high, medium, and low. Of course, off, where you want the air to blow. Turn the climate control on or off here. Heated seat for the passenger, fan speed, front and rear defrosters, automatic function, and then you can switch to heat here if you want to. 12-volt power supply is here. 2 USB-C ports. And I like this large open pad right here. It's rubberized, and it's just a nice flat space to put stuff. You get in, you put your cell phone down, the passenger can put their cell phone there, they can, you know, whatever's in their hands, they can lay it down, the mail or whatever, you know. And then you have this compartment here as well. And it also has a rubber mat. So this is good for, you know, like bags and stuff like that. And that rubber mat can be taken out. There's a little flap there on the corner that you can pull it up and take it out, clean it, put it back in, that kind of thing. All right, so here's the cup holders. I like how clean this looks. It's non-reflective plastic. It looks really nice. And each one of these cup holders have these very impressive little arms, 4 of them. So it's very well done as far as stabilizing a bottle or a cup or coffee or whatever. Really nice. And it's flat on the bottom with a rubberized part, so you can utilize this for other things besides cups. You can put stuff in there. It's not going to slide around on a hard surface. So I like the way they got things rubberized in a lot of places. Now this is the place where you put your cell phone. You just kind of drop it in there, and it's a wireless charger. And so it doesn't go in like super far, but it does have this little place for the cell phone to go. Now, if you accidentally, it says don't put stuff in there, right? So if you accidentally drop something down in there, all you have to do is grab a hold of this, pull it out, and you can dump it. And what's interesting is that it actually has these little holes at the bottom. So like say if you spill your coffee or drink or something in this, it has these little weep holes, which is interesting. Now, it has holes here as well that line up with these holes. So I'm curious as to where that liquid is going to go. If it spills in here and it goes out that hole and then out through that hole, does it go all the way to the bottom of the vehicle? Where does it go? I'm curious as to where that would go. If this was my vehicle, I'd put a little water in there and see where it goes. Okay, so this armrest, kind of rubbery soft, but look at how huge that is. Nice and big, and you can share it with the passenger really if you want, because we have so much room in here. This lifts up, and it's kind of spring loaded, so it doesn't slap back down. It will kind of drop down, but not slapping down. It goes up to right there. Now it does want to fall at the very top height there. But anyways, mostly stays out of the way. It doesn't stay perfect. There we go. Okay. So it has this little quick access tray, which you can take out. Put it here in the front if you want, or you can take it out. It has a little Honda here on the bottom name. But this compartment is basically just a large junk drawer. Basically, you can put a bunch of stuff in there. There's no connectivity or anything, and yeah, it's just a place to put some stuff. Now this is where actually it has the hard plastic on the inside. So if you put something in this compartment, it's going to slide around all over the place. Now, what I've recommended to do in the past is to take some white felt and put it in the bottom of these. For one thing, the white kind of reflects light back out, so you can see a little bit better in these compartments. And also it keeps things from sliding around on that hard plastic. When you're driving around, something rattling or sliding around just kind of gets on my nerves. So it's one of the little solutions I would do. Same thing with this little tray right here. It's not really rubberized, so if you put change or whatever, it's going to slide around. So this is an auto dim rear view mirror. It's auto dimming right now because I have the shade over the light sensor. And light sensors here on the left side, here on the back. There's the OnStar buttons, roadside assistance, that kind of stuff. 4-way flashers are up here, and it wasn't very obvious. You know, I was looking around where I normally look for 4-way flashers, and I actually realized this a little button up here. So, you know, something that when you first get in the vehicle, it's good to know where that is, because in an actual emergency or something, then, you know, you need to know right where it is. So you don't have to think about it, look for it, or spend any time on it. So you have these little tap lights here and here, and these are more like reading lights to shine more in your lap and not going to blind you when you're a driver. And then you have these buttons here for the shade and the sunroof. We'll get to that in a second. The visors have a cloth, like a tan cloth, and it's the same thing as a headliner here, but this is a little bit smoother and softer. There's 2 lights on the mirror, the vanity mirror. This does extend out like so. It does have a little clip right here as well. Basically the same thing on the other side. Okay, so the sunroof is a panoramic sunroof, and it's huge. Look at it. It goes all the way back there, like way back there. And this covers 100% of the light, and it's like just basically like a microfiber type cloth here. I can feel a little bit of heat coming from it though, because it's kind of building up on between the glass and this. Now, it has this button here for the shade. So let's go ahead and you push up on it like so, and it'll move it back. So it's a power shade. Way back there. Huge. Okay, so you can see it's wide open. Now this back portion is fixed, this portion moves. So let's go ahead and tilt it. So press the button here on the right, tilts it up, pull it down, tilts it down. Now let's slide it, push it up to slide. See how far back it goes. All right, push it again. Goes back a little bit more. So looking at the visibility here in the back, you can see there's a little bit of a pillar in the far back, but overall it has that little glass right there, and the pillars are spaced out. They're not super wide, so the visibility should not be too big of an issue. It does have a little bit of a small glass back there, but considering it has the parking sensors, blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, backup camera, all that stuff, I don't foresee any like major issues. I think it's just one of those things you have to get used to as far as the visibility, especially if you have passengers and cargo packed up back here and all that stuff. So yeah, that's the way it looks, and I don't really think it's going to be a big deal. So there you have it. Thank you for watching. Thank you to East Coast Honda here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, for providing access to this vehicle. I'll have their contact information in the description so you can check them out. Let me know what you think in the comments of this vehicle. Hopefully I'll be able to have more access to this vehicle or another Prologue to do a more extensive test driving, and also night videos and seeing what kind of lighting, how well the headlights work, and the ambient lights and all that stuff. So anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.